The audience in Luke's gospel was honestly probably people a lot like me. Folks who were educated, who were comfortable, people for whom the structures and systems of society largely worked well. And Jesus has a warning for us throughout Luke's gospel. He's pretty explicit about it today. He says that we cannot let our comfort get in the way of God's kingdom. We cannot make peace with the world as it is if we are to follow the path of love. There will be tension. We will be in opposition with others. But that does not mean that we don't love others. Rather, we love others and our neighbors so much that we are willing to stand in a countercultural position. We must remain, as Dr. King says, maladjusted to the ways of this world. And Jesus points us to our baptismal imagination for where we should find grounding in this world. Ways that we can enliven God's kingdom right now are found in our baptismal covenant. Through imagining a world in which we seek and serve Christ in all, Jesus hopes we will act on that seeing. Imagining a world in which the dignity of all humans is respected, Jesus hopes we will act on that respect. And imagining a world of justice and peace, we will strive to be in right relationship with all. And we will strive for peace not just that comes from being polite to get along, but deep peace from seeing the belovedness of all. And this will create tension. And we will be in opposition. Because many would rather live in the world as it is. A world of status. A world in which someone deserves more than another. A world in which someone's worth is more than another. Many would rather live in that world than a world of love. And so Jesus gives us the strength to develop our moral character, emboldened by our commitment to our baptism, and rooted strongly in the eternal nature of God's love, so that we might not be blown about by the winds of change as society decides who's more deserving or who's not, but that we remain steadfast in our vision of God's kingdom. And I love this part that Jesus ends with. In our lectionary, which is where they stop the story. But he talks about how we can predict the weather, and yet we cannot predict the current moment, the present moment. And it's interesting because we've been talking about what it means to both be in opposition and to hold love. And those things are kind of strange and hard to do at the same time. But what happens when we just try to be polite to get along? What do? We talk about the weather. We talk about the weather, and we would rather pay attention to the weather than go deeper. We'd rather talk about the weather than recognize the opposition that we might actually be in. Here's a funny example that has stood out to me as I've been thinking about this. Many of you know, because it comes up all the time, I'm a big college basketball fan. And the season starts in less than 100 days. And I'm really excited to watch my team, right? I'm really excited to watch Gonzaga. But if all I do is pay attention to how the Zags are doing and how the West Coast Conference is doing, then I am going to be real lousy at trying to predict March Madness. Because I'll have missed out on literally all the other conferences and what else is happening. But fortunately, I have friends who are Duke fans. I have friends who are Kentucky fans, friends who are UCLA fans. And so come March Madness, my bracket will still be busted. But I won't have as many surprises. I'll have a better understanding of the world as others see it, because I've been willing to have those conversations and stay in relationship, even though, naturally, and quite literally, we will be opponents. So opposition is going to happen. And if we are committed to this way of love, it will be different than how a lot of other people want the world to be. And that's okay. It is up to us to remain strong, to remain steadfast, to lean on our baptismal commitment, so that we can transform the world through love. Not through trying to assert our right opinion, not through trying to always